See, I knew the good vibrations. I know whatever. I know the three first ones you said. The ones I said were cliche. I don't know any others.
Are you shitting me? It's the Beach Boys.
I know.
Really fun. I need some fun, not sad for.
No, well, that's the thing.
Look, Brian was a huge mental health advocate, and that's important to me. This will be an interesting show, Jeremy, since we're American and Australian. Doing the Beach Boys today. Obviously, Brian Wilson passed earlier this week, 82. Brian was important to Americans for a lot of reasons. All American, 100%. California, Surfing USA, California Dreamin', Good Vibrations, all of that. But Brian Wilson struggled with mental health his whole life. I myself have struggled with mental health, having OCD. It's been a challenge for me. And I always appreciate artists, particularly Brian, because he managed to be artistic and express in a really creative way this genius. The brain works in an interesting way. It skips in areas and then it's overactive in other areas. It matters that there's understanding. That's always good because the stereotype of mental health has followed me my whole life and it's really bugged me my whole life. Great today to be able to celebrate Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys. Mike Love and Brian were very much a team in this thing. Brian Wilson was more melancholy. That's the way his songs were going to go, kind of way Martin Gore does in Depeche. But Mike Love, he's the one that added the fun to the Beach Boys songs. He balanced Brian's melancholy. And in the way Dave does with Martin and Depeche. But so I thought, let's not do a more sad song, melancholy song of Brian's. Let's do a good Brian Mike mix and do Help Me Rhonda. It's fun. I like it. It'll make me feel good and cope with the loss. And this is live at Knebworth in 1980. And I've been talking my ass off here. So do you want to say anything before we get into it as far as the Beach Boys in Australia?
Well, no, that was well said, everything you said there. I must admit, I'm sort of between, I don't know, like in Australia, the Beach Boys were a bit older, like, so I know the big songs and I like them and you definitely, he was groundbreaking in the way they did things and stuff, so they were unique. I'm
curious as an Australian because we're like Lennon and McCartney, right? That's what seems to have a lot of respect.
Yes.
What doesn't get the credit is Brian fucking Wilson is right up there with Lennon and McCartney.
Oh, no,
the rest of the world.
That was the way, like, we've had on the radio today, they've been playing and doing tributes to Brian Wilson all day, and they've all said basically that he was a musical genius, as you pointed out.
Do you know who's had the best words to say about Brian Wilson? Has been Sean Lennon. Go look at what Sean Lennon's been saying about Brian Wilson. Yeah. And it mixes the Beatles and Beach Boys together and puts a more equal spin on it because the Beatles had held the Beach Boys in much more high esteem than it seems their fans do.
Yeah.
well, let's listen to Help Me Rhonda and let's enjoy some freaking Beach Boys.
Well, I know the big ones. I don't know this one by name. We'll find out. Well, let's have a look. Thank you.
The harmonies in this, I chose this one because the harmonies should really be highlighted.
Famous. Yeah.
We'd like everybody to participate on this by singing along. Are you ready?
Mike Love, baby.
Hey.
Elton John, eat your heart out.
That's got to be the end of something.
Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready?
Oh, are you ready? Knebworth, baby.
Everybody sing with us. Well, since you put me down, I've been out doing in my head. I commit late at night and in the morning I just stay in bed. Rhonda, you look so fine. Wouldn't take much time for you to help me run, help me get her out of my heart. Everybody, help me run, help me run.
what's great right here.
Well, help me, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda. 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 What do you say? Help me, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda, yeah, get her out of my heart. It's around the corner on the corner. Help me, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda. 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 Help me, Rhonda, yeah, get her out of my heart. One more time. Help me, Rhonda, yeah, get her out of my heart.
That's pretty cool. 1980, man.
I knew. Yeah.
Brian, Dennis, and Carl Wilson. So you have the three brothers, and then Mike Love, who is kind of the main lead singer, even though both Carl and Brian major vocals. And I think it's not Brian; it's actually Carl. It's actually Carl Wilson that sings like "God Only Knows." So that's the higher pitch brothers. Mike, like I said, is the fun to Brian's melancholy. But Help Me, Rhonda's to see the band live in context, 1980. I don't know. It's kind of a bygone era. For me, it's not like watching Elvis. It's like more like the Beatles or Motown, the Stones, something retro from that 60s era. But you know what I like? I like the fact that California, UK, they can mix music and, crossing the pond, there's kind of a cultural exchange there that just works. Surfing USA somehow can work with Abbey Road, What do you think?
No, like I can definitely hear some influences. I can't name them. I don't know that much Beach Boys, so this was like almost what it was at first. By the end, it sounded for me.
First time listen, was it?
I like anything with an organ's got me. So I love organs. so
Interesting.
And they had organ and piano. And things like I found it fun. It was great energy. I don't know if they had like personas that they'd put on because they.
Oh, the personalities with the band are definitely strong.
Yeah, like the hats.
And honestly, even though the Beach Boys have a kind of a more of a squeaky clean image, not the case at all. Same like Chicago.
Yeah.
Squeaky clean image, but lots of tension in the band. So I think that, especially 80, might have been, that performance reminded me of kind of like just a letting go of some emotion, letting go of some, tension. That kind of reminded me of that performance. They're a little older.
Locking horns and stuff is what creates the good music. So they need that, but it's also very draining and hard and exhausting to maintain. So that's why some bands do implode. But again,
you're right.
That tension, they make greatness. Some people, some artists need that.
Absolutely.
Some don't. Some can't.
I agree.
Do it at all. Thank you. I could tell that was a personal one for you, and so well done. Congratulations. Yeah, you got through it.
Yeah, it was
nice.
Yeah.
The song She Says She Needs Me is so beautiful. I love that song. You said you were really proud of the horn arrangements on that song?
Yeah, I made those up about 34 years ago.
Really?
And then just this year, this last couple months, Joe and I worked up an arrangement for the horns. He did most of the work. and we arranged the clarinets to harmonize with the track, and the harmony and the mellowness of the clarinets is unbelievable.
It sounds so
sound.
beautiful.
South America, which is quite amazing. Jimmy Buffett, we gave him a set of the music, and he came up with some incredible lyrics that we could not believe, and we recorded them. We also went to a studio in Florida, and he put his voice on the record. Then we took it back to Chicago and finished it there. It was really quite amazing.
I can relate to the song "Cry" a lot.
Yeah.
It's really sad. Like, is there anybody that's about specifically?
It was about my wife. She sat down on a bench and cried for 5 minutes, and my housekeeper and I were watching her cry. And then she stopped crying and everything was okay. Then 2 weeks later, I was at the piano. I said, I'm going to write a song about her crying, you know?
Yeah.
So I wrote a very simple tune about it, you know?
Yeah, it's so beautiful, that song.
Yeah.
It's beautiful because with a lot of your music, you take something really sad, but you make something positive out of it.
Yeah, I know. I took a situation that was slightly negative and put it into a more positive kind of a thing.
Happy Days was my favorite song to write and sing. It explains how you go through these dark periods and you come out and you tell the truth about what you went through, and then all of a sudden you say, hey, happy days are here again. It's like going from the cloudy days and all the fog lifted, now you're into the present.
In the song Dream Angel, you say, like, you can change the world to whoever you're singing to.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the world can be changed? I mean, I'm sorry that I keep
I think the
getting
world
back-
can be changed if there was another Beatles. I think if the world had another Beatles,
Yeah.
it would change the world a lot. It would turn the world back on a little bit.
So did you ever meet my dad?
No, I never got to meet John.
You
Never
never
did.
did,
I met George, Ringo, and Paul, but
Yeah, that's too bad.
never got to.
But Paul used to come to the studio and hang out and stuff, right?
Yeah.
The Beatles probably wouldn't have done the greatest work they did if it wasn't for you.
Oh, thank you, Sean. That's nice of you.
Well, I really believe that. I mean, I think Paul says that all the time.
Well, I'm so proud that people can relate to me, at least, you know, relate to my music, you know. I'll never live it down. I mean, I'll never really get used to that feeling.
Thanks for watching today. A kind of tribute to the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson and his genius. He wasn't in that clip very much, but it was more about the vibe of the songwriting and the joy that the Beach Boys have brought my whole life. So thank you for watching. We appreciate it. See you next time.
Bye-bye.